On tonight's Round 9 episode of the AFL Armchair Advisors for AFL Season 2022, Danny Trejo. Australia's funniest comedian going on every single TV show there is. It's Lee Mahu. Boys, we've also got Nitro from the Shat.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Big brother housemate from 2004, Merlin's going to be stopping by. And all the way from Perth, we're flying him in. It's Mad Dog. Boys, what a lineup. What a lineup.
Murderer's row.
Oh, it is indeed. I mean, Spider-Man's shivering in his boots because no one's beaten that rogues gallery. I don't care who you are.
No.
I don't care who you are. It is Rich guiding you through round 9 of AFL season 2022, where we do all of the predictions, the bets, all the info on every game of the round you need to know about. Joining me, of course, as he does every week, is the man with the calculator. No stat is safe. No odds may hide from this man. He is sensible. Dan, how are you, big fella?
I'm mighty fine, mate. Been a very good week on the track, and I'm feeling great. Ready for another banger of a show.
Hell damned, yeah. I'm seconding that. And sitting over to my left, as he normally does, freshly back from Croatia, if you don't mind, it is our global field correspondent, Desmond Van Bars. Big Desi, how you going, mate? Not as tanned as I thought you'd be.
No, because I am ginger on the inside and on the outside, just got the blonde hair though. So, not really ginger.
No. One of the stupidest things you've ever said. Like he's off early.
Yeah.
The sun
Yeah,
does
absolutely.
not like me. Nah, well, can you tell me what the capital city of Croatia is?
You've just been there, so why don't you
Yeah,
tell
I
us?
want you to tell me.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? Oh, it's
Zagreb. It is Zagreb.
Zagreb. And I want the followers to Zagreb themselves some popcorn and buckle up for a good time because the AA are going to deliver some tips today, baby.
That was actually not bad.
Not
from
bad,
you.
yeah. He's brought it back around.
Honestly, in my head, I just this is a bit of an inside thing for the fans
Behind the
as well.
curtain for the
Behind
fans.
curtains. I literally just thought in my head, all I could think of was grab. So that was on the fly. I did that very, very smooth.
Nice.
Because normally it's a mess.
I mean, look, you had the whole plane ride back to come up with something, but
I'll let you
spontaneity.
grab the whole time. Grab.
I mean,
That would have been the worst 15 hours of all time.
man, just sat next to him. And he's just there
Oh, I
going,
was saying it too.
crap, just on the plane. Oh my God, I'd be praying for a terrorist.
Absolutely.
Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Rightio, ladies, gents, boys and girls, let us leap straight into it. It's Friday night footy at Marvel Stadium, where the Collingwood Magpies are hosting the Western Bulldogs. Dan, please, I invite you. Get this one underway.
I like this as a game because it's actually a huge contest. Mm-hmm. I don't like either of these teams' football at the moment. Pies just don't look to be as good as they were in the first 2 rounds of the year. We all started thinking they were maybe a bit of a contender. They're definitely not. They're a mile off it at the moment. Dogs, very much the same. Bit of a mirage. Play some nice-looking footy at times, but all they're doing is beating up on pansy teams, and then they come up against teams who've got a bit of chutzpah, and they got nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Pies had the better midfield on paper and lost to the Tigers. Tigers' midfield on paper is not very good.
Oh,
It's not.
Short, Cochin, Martin,
Nah, it's not been good all
at
year.
the foot of Nang.
It's not been good all year. It really hasn't.
Historically, it's a good mix.
They've lost just about every battle every week so far this year. Martin didn't spend a hell of a lot of time in the middle. Spent some in there, but he's never going to do too much. As you said last week, they were sort of riding on that dusty high anyway.
Yep.
I'm going to tip the Dogs.
Yeah. Don't look at my sheet. That's why I picked it up.
I'm not picking. No. I'm
not
not.
good.
I'm going to tip the Dogs, but I don't love it. I don't love tipping either of these teams at the moment. It's real hard.
I can't add anything onto that, Dan, but I am...
Thanks.
And that's why we get him on every
Sorry.
week.
Yeah.
Can't add anything onto that.
He didn't watch any. He's in Croatia, mate. Come on.
But I'm just going to back the Doggies in purely off of last year's form. And it sounds stupid to do that.
We're almost in 2023.
We're 2 months
already.
in.
It sounds stupid to do that, but I'm waiting for the Doggies of old to come out. They might not ever, but I'm banking on it, especially against a team like Collingwood.
Do you know what genuinely worried me about Collingwood the most on the weekend? Darcy Moore got pantsed.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Bad. Real bad. Did you see Tom Lynch's first half stat line? He went to sleep in the second half because he'd already done his work for the day. 5 goals, 18 disposals, half time, key forward. Darcy Moore, for shame, son. For
It was
shame.
genuinely like a throwback to his first year in the league.
Yeah.
That big Morsey. No, look, I've gone the other way. I'm tipping the Pies this week, 1-39. I was at that Bulldogs Port game, and I went to the corresponding fixture last year as well between Port and the Dogs, and both of these teams looked a real level down from where they were last time they played. They looked tentative going forward. The run and carry play wasn't there. The forward craft wasn't there. I mean, I don't know. Is there something in the Dogs' head? Like, are they just shell shocked from losing the Grandy?
Don't know.
I don't get it.
I've heard that they've got a few injuries. Blah blah blah.
Everyone does. Big deal.
They're not. Even if you've got injuries, they're playing bad football. Just bad football. Even their heavy lifters on Friday night looked way off the pace. McRae had 32 of the most useless disposals you've ever seen. Baz Lenker has dropped off a cliff since his hot start to the year. Dunkley was on another planet.
Yes, he was.
Just completely out
I don't know what
it.
he was doing, but they weren't playing football.
We didn't see much of him at all, did we?
I was mad.
Obviously, Bont is one they do miss. He'll be back this week. He said on Send today, but yeah, I don't know.
The Pies could not contain Lynch, as we saw. They could not contain the Richmond mids. Now, I would say that on paper, you would expect the Dogs at this stage of the game in 2022 to have a more potent, more diverse, not like that, midfield than what Richmond do. And they just don't seem to be performing at that level. I don't know what it is in their head, but look, Lynch is not Norton. Norton's fine. Norton's a fine player and can take a game apart on his day, but Lynch is in a rare vein of form at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't see the Dogs putting it together. Not after that performance, man. I watched that game and I was not impressed at all. So,
Totally fair.
Look, if no one was going to beat the Tigers last week. The Dusty Wave back at the G, Tiger Army, no one was going to beat them. I genuinely think the Pies bounce back here. Yep, genuinely.
That's fair.
Really sure on it.
What have you got in the way bets?
I've got Bailey Dale for 25 disposals.
He loves it.
I've got Bailey Smith for 25 disposals.
Also loves it.
I've got Patrick Lipinski for 20 disposals. Grudge match.
It is.
Oh, narrative bet.
We love that. We do.
We love a narrative
More
bet.
than anything, just about.
Tom Liberatory for 20 disposals. Thank you. And a name that I don't call on this pod too often, Ed Richards for 15. I had a look at his stats. He's not gone under 15, I think. I think he's done it twice maybe this year, maybe even once. I will check that. But he has been a little Tom Atkins, a little red-headed Tom Atkins back there.
Nice.
I'll take that.
I've gone the under 173.5. The last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. And I don't foresee that changing here. Lockie McNeil for a goal. He's done that in those last 2. Baz for 25. Yep. Very stock standard. And Dacos for 25 plus.
Which one?
Guess.
The one that is actually doing that on a weekly basis?
Yes, Nicholas. He's paying $1.99 for that at the moment. Right?
Wow.
The Dogs absolutely love letting defenders chip around the back line. I could see Nick Dacos getting some real slutty possessions on the weekend, and I'm more than happy to throw that in at $1.99, big value.
You just don't get that anywhere else. Don't get that anywhere else, do you?
Before we move on, though, you said Lockie McNeil.
Yeah.
Who's that? Why is it Lockie McNeil? Can we elaborate on that?
I'm going to die.
Why is it Mick?
Are you an idiot? What? Because that is his name. There is a player on the Bulldogs called Lachlan McNeil.
Yes.
I have no idea who that is. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Been hitting the head too many times.
I am done. Who's Marcus Bontempelli? Who the hell's that?
I've realised my mistake, and now it's on.
You haven't realised your mistake. You still don't know who he is. You are A grade beef,
I thought you were
mate.
talking about Lockie Neal. I was like McNeil. I was like, what's he been caught doing? But then I realised.
This is incredible. We need to move on rapidly from this. Let's look at the Saturday afternoon game at the MCG, where the Hawthorn Hawks will be taking on the aforementioned Richmond Tigers. Dan, I'm going to skip you for a sec. I'm going to throw it over to the founder of Dummings. If you can find a stupider bloke, he'll beat it by 10%. It's Desmond. Who's winning this one, mate?
Tigers are going to get up. They're going to run. They're going to keep the vein of form. Lockie McNeil is going to take the Tigers to victory.
Lockie McNeil will be sitting at home after playing a Friday night.
With his phone dead silent because no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
No one's messaging him.
Yeah.
I've done myself in dirty here. No, for real. I think the Tigers are going to. They're going to. You can't pants the Pies like you did and then come out the next week and be bad. Dusty has lifted the team up. They're looking much better than what they were. They're in the 8. Everything seems to be. They always seem to turn a new leaf later on in the season. It's not very late into the season, but they
don't do hot starts, is what you're saying.
They ride off real well in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not
I
bad.
can't get off Lockie McNeil. It's off my head. It's like grab now. All
What
I
do-
can think of is Mick.
What do you think of Hawthorn?
I think their time in the sun, and this is a pun to Gold Coast Suns. I think their time in the sun is no longer. I think they're going to have a tough rest of the year. They're going to have some. They're going to have some games where they're going to be going. Oh, I think they're going to dip. What do you think?
I take from this, right, I'm going to put all of this in a blender, right, and it's going to, I'm going to put all of this into like one of those meat grinding sort of sausage makers.
Mm-hmm.
And the sausage that I'm cranking out, from what I've understood from what you said,
Tigers run and form.
Tigers run a form,
Hawthorn, Young and Pooh.
pretty much, yeah. Hawks stagnating, Tigers on the bounce.
Correct.
Yeah, that's more or less what I've got. But
You
go
just
on, Dan.
said you think Hawthorn's going to dip. They've lost 5 of their last 6. I would guess.
They've only beaten Geelong in their last 6.
I would guess that is a dip.
Yeah, well,
That's poor.
Me
that's a
personally,
trough.
that's.
Do you know what? They have played better. I think they played better than 5 of their last 6, but far out. I did not realise that.
They've been
was
in
the stat.
games, but they're not finishing the job.
Oh, well, Tigers easy.
Hallmark
Look
of
at
a
him.
young team, absolute Tigers,
And
and they
they're
did that.
playing
They
well
did that with bit of sickness in the camp last week as well.
Yeah, they did.
Couple of laid outs. Mick Vlosten was in great form,
I bet he would be.
and they managed to cover that. And Hawthorn's last term, I didn't see it. I was busy doing anything else but watching the 2 pathetic games of AFL on Saturday night. From what I did see, though, one of the worst capitulations you'll ever see in your life. 8 goals to 1 in the final term the Bombers scored. 8 goals to 1.
it was. I did watch it.
With
I was
five,
stunned.
with 5 laid outs, Devon Smith was supposed to be missing through injury, couldn't even physically get up to play. Then he was out there,
He had a knee injury. He was going to be out for 4 weeks.
and then he played and beat Hawthorn.
I didn't get to watch the last quarter, unfortunately, because I went to go see Doctor Strange, but I did see the final result, and I was like, damn, 8 goals.
Yeah.
How are you
And
doing?
look,
Generally bizarre.
We discussed Tom Mitchell's clearly not in their plans for next year.
Nope.
He's still in the plans now, so you can play him in the midfield if you would like, rather than let them get absolutely steamrolled. What is Sam Mitchell doing?
Well,
If you're going to pick him in his best spot. Don't just put him out there because he's Tom Mitchell.
No, I get the feeling, and I don't want to speak for Sam Mitchell right now, but I get the feeling that they've already internally, like 2 months ago, just wrote off this season and said, no, you know what, we're not contending for finals. Brand new coach coming in after Clarkson. We need to turn the list over. We're not going to bother contending for finals. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to try and get games into key position players in the spots we reckon they're going to be in for the next decade. And that doesn't involve Tom Mitchell, unfortunately.
That's cool, but you know what you're doing right now?
Ruining blokes.
Tanking his trade value.
You know, it's interesting.
They didn't have much trade value anyway. Kane Corns mentioned this midweek.
Bang on, yes.
They couldn't get rid of him in the summer because no one wanted a bar of him.
Hmm.
Well, who the hell is going to want a bar of him if he's having 14 touches every week?
No.
No one.
Well, keep going. Jaeger O'Meara.
All you're doing is ruining whatever you can get back for him at the end of the year.
Bruce.
Even if you're going to tank and admit the season's a write-off, you can still have Tom Mitchell get 35 touches every week. You can factor that into your game plan, and then when it's season's end, get rid of him for picks.
But is that chewing into the development of blokes like Newcomb?
No. Newcomb's a star.
He's on the bounce.
He's an absolute star.
He's absolutely on the way up.
I'm just saying I don't agree with what they're doing right now.
I look, it's disappointing because if you're going to aggressively turn the list over, you'd like to show your wares. You know what I mean? If you want a first for Mitchell, Brownlow medalist, have him playing in a position where he's getting 30 a week, and someone like Ports can be like, I tell you what, that bloke in there, he's clearly not part of the plans, and he's getting 30 a week. We'll cough up a first. We'll cough up Carl Amon in a second. Do you know what I mean?
Right now, what are they going to turn around and say? We want a first. Everyone will be in fits of laughter.
I want a Ferrari, and that's not happening either.
Fits of laughter. You are not getting anything for Tom Mitchell.
But keep going. It's him. It's O'Meara. It's blokes like Shields, Bruce. Why are they still on the list at this point? Why? What are you doing there?
Exactly.
Oh,
anyway,
away from it.
Tigers won to 39.
Tigers are paying $1.40 is not a bad little multi-head to win.
Oh, forget that. I'm saying Tigers to win the last quarter is $1.60.
Nice.
Because the Hawks aren't going to run out these last quarters, and I think they genuinely are starting to stagnate now. They're getting a bit tired, and young teams are going to do that. It happened a bit earlier than I expected this season, but sometimes it do be like that. Look, what else are you going to say? Look, Koch, Dusty, Short, Graham, the band's back together. The band's back together, and I just don't see the Hawks youngsters running with it. So it's got to be the Tigers 1 to 39, please.
Cool. I have some bets.
Do you?
Would you believe?
You wouldn't.
I've got the best player in AFL history to score a goal this week, Maurice Rioli Jr. You've surely heard all this chat. Greatest player in AFL history.
Well, no, I didn't hear that. What I was going to do for the guys.
I'm excited.
What I was going to do for everyone
good.
this
I
week.
like
He looks unreal.
He's a genuine talent.
He is a talent.
And you know exactly where he's got it from. Like, it's been inherited, and it's beautiful
Absolutely.
to see. I was actually going to do a super cut for everyone of the amount of times Howie said, Dusty Martin, Dustin Martin. Yeah, Dusty there. Martin. Dustin Martin. Dusty. I was going to do that, and then I realised it would be longer than this show put together. I was going to make a drinking game out of it, and I realised I would have to pre-book an ambulance.
You don't want to kill people.
Fucking went on.
The only thing I'm saying about Maurice Rioli is he's played a handful of games, played good handful of games, mind you. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Let him find his feet at AFL level. Then we can start calling him the greatest of all time.
Have you ever watched AFL?
Yes, I have.
We don't do that here.
Once or twice.
As Chadwick Boseman said, we don't do that
True.
here.
I've got Dylan Moore for 2 goals.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Now, he's only scored 1 in his last 3 games, but I've just got a good feeling that he'll jag a couple.
You got a tinkle in the stencil.
I do, and that's $2.12. And Jaden Short, the greatest midfielder in the AFL today for 25 plus disposals, $1.33. Hawthorn absolutely love giving up disposals to every man and his dog. How many Callum Mills have 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, like 37. Yeah,
Jack Crisp had, I think, 30 again on the
from memory.
There's no way that Jaden Short's not getting 25 plus.
Man's going to feast. I like that a lot. I had something similar. I got Jaden Short for 25 disposals in my little multi this week. Short, 25. And Sicily, Jack Graham and Jarman Impey for 20 disposals. That Jarman Impey one especially just keeps getting disregarded. Dustin Martin, 20 disposals. I think he'll have that. Who's stopping him? He's just going to run around and do what he wants. Tom Lynch to kick 2 goals. Now, that's only 6 legs. That's paying a whopping $13 if you put that together. And I don't quite know why. But I'm not mad. I'm taking it.
Surely it's Impey bumping that up a bit.
But he's not dipped. He's had one
game
in which he had 3 touches because he went out injured, and that's duped his average. And now the sporting company's like,
Lol, Jake.
Disrespect.
Well, hey, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
I'm thinking about 1 minute on this game.
Ooh.
Not even.
It could take me longer to read out who it is and where it's being played than our chat on the Saturday afternoon clash at Blundstone Arena. Where's that?
I don't know. Croatia?
I wish it was, actually. I wish it was. Down in Tasmania, we see the North Melbourne Kangaroos going head-to-head with the Port Adelaide Power. Fellas, this is interesting. It's not, actually.
Actually, let me do it, because this game sums up me. Port, better form. North Melbourne, one of the worst teams in AFL history. Port, however much they want. It's in Tassie. Doesn't matter. There's my haiku for you. I'll put it into poetry.
Can I get that on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. That's my haiku.
Count those syllables. Count the syllables, fans. And if it doesn't add up, then I don't care, because it's 2022 and a haiku can be whatever I want it to be.
Pretty. Yeah. Straight fast.
You are on one, and I really like it.
There we go. And that's the game. You can't add any more. What do you got for bets, boys? We're all going Port here. There's a very similar game. There's actually a couple games this week that are like that. And if Port lose this, then that's even funnier, because they must suck real bad. Honestly, the Port SANFL team could come and beat North Melbourne here. Yeah, and I stand by that.
That is a very valid point.
It'd be a lot closer.
And I don't rate Port at all. They looked horrible. They got the win, but and Todd Marshall looked good.
They did, yeah.
And they had key players that looked good, but Port haven't looked fantastic, and that's all the analysis you're going to get.
Would you change your mind if I told you that Port has played once at Blundstone Arena for one loss?
No.
I just said.
These statistics you bring up about Launceston and Hobart, no one cares. North Melbourne suck.
Well,
flat out. Actually, it doesn't matter
North
where
Melbourne
they're playing.
West Coast, 2 of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life.
All right, now serious question. Port 40 plus, I think, all round, realistically. Yeah. Port 40 plus, done. Port fans, you're having a bit. You need a bit more. Dixon had 1 goal and 12 touches on the weekend in the twos. You need more than that.
This is a nice tune-up game for Dixon.
Is he coming in?
Yeah.
I wouldn't play him. It's that time of year.
I actually would.
It's going to be shit weather in Launceston. Or wherever this is. It's going to be shit weather this time of year. It's going to be gusty and swirly. You remember that Crows game a couple of years back, same time of year, and they kicked the ball and it went at right angles.
Yeah, but I just think it'd be a good game for him to go and kick a bag, get back into AFL level, entry level AFL anyway.
Who did tip, Marshall or Finney?
To do what?
To leave.
kick 8 goals.
Not
To get out of the side. Marshall or Finlayson?
No, Marshall's staying 100%.
Or Georgiades then. He had a stinker.
Georgiades out,
Yeah, and
Absolute
I mean,
stinker.
I think Georgiades is carrying some sort of injury as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if it
Confidence
is
injury.
him.
He was not confident at all, the poor fella.
Serious question. We don't have to go on about it because no one cares. How many years away are the Roos from genuinely, not being top of the table, not Melbourne mode, but like making the 8? How many years? Let's write off, let's say
At minimum?
let's say January 1st, 2023 is the start of year 1, okay? How many years away are they from like making the 8?
4 or 5.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, it would take at least 4.
I had 4 of them.
That team is so devoid of talent. You're going to
And Warren
lose.
Francis is going to go.
You're going to lose some of your better players in the next couple of years. If I'm Zeeble and Goldstein, like obviously they've been warriors, but
Well, the ship has sailed for Goldie.
surely you would want to try and finish up your career somewhere with a chance of winning something.
Goldie to Geelong.
Geelong will throw a second at that.
He should have gone years ago. Mm-hmm. He pissed up the chance to do that years ago, and now he's been complaining that he's not number 1 ruck over Cherry. I can understand why he's not been number 1 ruck. Why would you give him the number 1 ruck mantle? What purpose is that serving at this point?
None.
You got to give time to Cherry and Callum Coleman-Jones. Then, in theory, the future.
Imagine if North got 2
Jones
firsts.
didn't do bad things in the back lines on the weekend. I know they got whooped, but he was okay.
What's your measuring stick? Fuck, we're so low energy on this game. Let's just do bets and go.
Look. All you want to see from same as we say every week. Just bounce back. Show some fight. Show some energy.
Yep.
Cost nothing to run. They're just pathetic.
They need Mark Jackson out there.
Yeah,
Dishing out headbutts.
Absolutely, they do.
I'd love that.
Absolutely.
All right, bets. Let's do it.
I'd love that. I got Travis Boak 25. Should have that by quarter time. Luke Davies Uniacke, one of the few that's just been trying, just battling a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
that trade stock up.
well, yeah. I mean, look, he's not best 22 in about 12 other teams in the league, but he's having a crack. Good on him. Todd Goldstein in a location he knows well, Goldie, against a first year in the AFL, like playing AFL level in a first year ruckman in Sam Hayes. I think Goldie will have 15. He had 19 last time they played, for whatever that's worth to you.
Oh, that's fair.
So Goldie 15, LDU 20, Travis Boak 25, Willem Drew, your boy. I bet I've stolen that now.
My brother, actually.
Yeah, they look identical. Willem Drew for 15. He's gone under that about once this year. Sam Powell-Pepper, anytime goal. Being a dad, fatherhood suits him. And I like his game.
Absolutely.
Port to win by more than 24.5 points. That's my 6. It's paying about $7.
Nice. I only had Rosie 20 plus, $1.29, and Houston 20 plus, $1.36. There is no value in this game whatsoever.
I struggled. I was really struggling.
This actually is a good game, this one.
Well, we're not going to look at it right now because it is time. No, you're going to just put it to the side there for a minute, chap, because it is time for this week's Dummy of the Week.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Dummy of the Week.
Gents, what do you got? What do you got for me?
Well, we just spent too long talking about North Melbourne, but I am going to continue talking about North Melbourne, just very briefly.
But why?
Just very briefly.
Go.
So, David Noble, I don't know if either of you saw this, he wasn't real happy with the players after one of their recent shellackings. Unsure which one, because, I mean, no one really knows, and they've been shellacked so many times now, it's almost lost all meaning. And
They're glossy. That's how shellacks they are.
He gave them a spray. Right? Rightly deserved. Some of their performances are absolutely pathetic. Some of the playing group complained about the spray, didn't think it was in best interest, and Noble stood up in front of the group and apologised for giving them a bake.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
The bake or the apology?
Both.
Well,
the bake's fine. If your team is dog shit like North Melbourne is, and they're not doing what you want them to do, you have every right to cut sick and give them every single syllable in the artillery.
What would Blighty do?
Exactly. What would Rodney Eade do? We've all heard that video about Will Minson.
Mm-hmm.
That's just footy.
Den Pagan.
That's just footy. If you're not happy with how your coach is speaking to you, how's about try harder?
Imagine Brisbane saying it to like fags. Being like, hey fags, I actually don't appreciate you saying that I was playing shit. Can you apologise?
Imagine saying that to Dennis Pagan back 30 years ago. Den, I just need a word, mate. I don't really care for how you speak to me, to be honest.
Ron
Yeah, Barassi would have murdered him.
He'd have pulled your Adam's apple out through your anus.
Yeah.
Like dead set. Zeeble was on the radio. He said, "Nah, Noble shouldn't have apologised. Totally worth it. Performance wasn't up to standard."
And that makes sense.
That's great. Jack Zeeble said, "I've copped way worse," and I'm sure he bloody has.
I absolutely.
I just can't. David Noble, dummy for apologising. Whichever players were complaining, dummies for complaining.
That's why they're
just
bad.
nut up and cop it, you wimps.
Okay, fair. I've got one that really, this was late last week, just before the games got into it. Jack Rewalt, he's prepping himself for a gig in the media when it's all said and done. Can't wait for the next 10 years worth of listening to that head just yarn on. Brilliant. He's actually got good knowledge when I've heard him during a game, and like
There's worse out there.
And every time he opens his mouth, like he's speaking sense, but it's just he already is prepping himself to be the official spokesperson for everything football ever, and it's already doing my scone in. But he made a comment about the West Coast game before it got going. Yeah. I think the AFL that is, should postpone the game against Brisbane. The reason they're in this situation is because their government held different border restrictions to the rest of Australia. That's not West Coast's fault, but now they're certainly paying a heavy price for it. Certainly West Coast are paying a heavier price than Fremantle so far. And he said, I reckon they're beyond what's acceptable at the moment. It's unfair. That's what Rewalt said to AFL 360. Now, I think he might have a point, but Jack, you sure weren't giving us this chat the week before when you were going over there to beat them by 100-odd points. Now, were you big Jackie boy? You hypocritical slug.
I did say this. Nah, I don't respect that at all.
That is funny as.
That's the biggest joke.
It's naughty.
I mean, absolute zip of the lip that whole week. You looking forward to going to West? Yeah, I am, yeah. Yep. Gonna get over there. Good game. Good challenge. Good game. Next week, oh no, they're shit house and it's unfair. AFL should postpone. You're a joke, Jack. Like, shut up, son.
Yep.
Shut up, mate.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more, mate.
Oh, mate. Ashley and Martin, what are their prices at the minute? Any ideas?
Do you know what? Just wait for the scramble. Just wait for the scramble.
Oh,
how did you know?
That is dirty already. Right, let's roll it on. Saturday, twilight at Marvel Stadium. We've got the St Kilda Saints. We had a little bit of a reality check on the weekend, guys. Against the Geelong Cats, who all of a sudden, boy oh boy. Boy, oh boy. And as I was saying, reality check, St Kilda, can't run with the big dogs yet. Are the Cats a big dog?
Well,
I think they're bigger.
That really depends on what Cats turn up.
It does.
I actually didn't know Croatia was big Cats fans. To be,
it is, yeah.
I'm a bit surprised. They like the Cats in Zagreb.
No.
If you're listening on the podcast, Desmond has come back from Croatia. He's got a tank top on with arm holes that hang down to the waist. It's old school 1930s Geelong print, and
I'm reasonably certain that's Zach Tui on the front of it.
Yeah, it looks like smoking a big old pipe. But no, seriously, the Cats, look, they went to Blundstone. They didn't have a good record there. GWS hit a bit of form.
Manuka. Was it Manuka?
It was Canberra. You said Blundstone.
Blundstone, oh, sorry.
Canberra and
Manuka.
Canberra.
My well has been poisoned from that previous game. But they went over to
Manuka and Blundy are basically the same.
They went over to Canberra, didn't have a good record there, came up against GWS, who had all of a sudden found a bit, did an absolute hatchet job on them. And it was
GWS lost a bit.
Yeah, GWS aren't it, mate.
No,
I think that was more of a GWS losing it than Cats looking spectacular.
The Giants beat the Crows in a serious fashion previously.
And that's what I mean. Whatever they found, they didn't bring it.
No, they didn't.
And I think that's where Geelong will get this false confidence from. I think Geelong will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll find a way to win. And unfortunately, Saints will be on a 3-game losing skid after this. But
bit unfair. I think they're better than that.
I agree. But that's just how footy is, mate. And
look,
the Cats are going to find a way.
They lost by 38 points to Melbourne. And at this point, that's basically an honourable loss.
Yes, it is.
To the Demons. Because, whenever someone's playing the Demons at the moment, I just completely disregard that they're playing the Demons because it's not fair. The Demons are genuinely that much better than just about everyone else.
So should we postpone the game then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Postpone?
No, postpone the season.
Everyone who's playing Melbourne, you get postponed now.
No, cancel it until Melbourne players retire.
Yeah.
But it's only fair thing to do. Wait until everyone's finished or trade them all.
Yep.
You got to even the league up.
See you in 15 years, boys.
It's not right.
No.
But yeah, look, King had to fight damn hard for his 2 snags. Stephen May and Jake Lever put the clamps
Touched
on.
him. Yep.
The midfield battled manfully. I actually thought they did reasonably well, and you could almost argue that they were better, but just not quite. And I was super impressed with Mark Blitzarves.
What a game. What a game in the
Looked
ruck.
unreal, hey?
Played the ruck. You have Braden Pruce, who's been in very good nick.
Bruce was cracking tannies mid-game, though. He was... Blitzarves broke him mentally real early.
I actually have a lot of respect for Blitzarves. The last couple of years, I've really picked up my respect. No, I've picked up my respect levels, yeah. Because he just plays everywhere. Does everything well.
Works hard.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Ultimate swingman.
Absolutely. And Stengel, what an unreal pickup he's been.
On the scrap heap. Disregarded.
Another 3 goals, another 20 disposals. Yeah, against GWS, but he's been awesome. Mitch Duncan finally turned up. The Guthrie boys were both excellent.
Both of them. Both Guthries.
They were both excellent. It's more or less every single week we expect a certain Cats team to turn up, and some weeks they just don't. And that's more why I'm going to be tipping the Saints this week. Because I just feel like this is going to be one of those weeks that the Cats, everyone's finally back on the train, and then they'll just look ordinary.
You know what?
And I like the Saints. I really want to get behind them. I really do. They play good footy.
It's so hard to, though, hey?
It is hard. Well, look, they had a good start, and now, as you said, they've just come off of two losses. I don't think they're a 3-loss-in-a-row team at the minute, but they didn't have that polish that Melbourne did. Melbourne were everywhere, cutting them up, inside, outside.
They had
looked
a little
lovely.
comeback.
Yeah, they worked hard. And I've always got time for hard work, but they just didn't have that last 10% of pizzazz on the top that was the difference.
All it was that second quarter. They got absolutely blown out of the water. The second half, I think they lost by 3 points. They held Melbourne in check. They just couldn't claw back. I really like the Saints to get the job done this week.
I personally don't think you can give Geelong that sort of a start. I think the Saints will come up a bit this week, and I think you're kind of right in that Geelong's going to come back down a bit this week. But I still think Geelong by 14 points.
Match the round?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It should be really good.
Footy, yeah.
It should be.
I'm just looking through what the rest of the slate looks like.
It is.
It's fallen off a precipice after this. Look, if Geelong bring that hustle, I think Geelong win. As you said, if Geelong don't, then the Saints win. Yeah. Yep. I think that's pretty much what it comes to.
Analysis as simple as that this week.
Sometimes you just got to keep it that way, boys and girls. Look, let's talk bets. I've just gone straight down the line for some real simple ones. All of these boys like disposals, and I like that. Jack Steele, 25. Brad Crouch, 25. Jack Sinclair, 25. Mitch Duncan and Isaac Smith for 20 apiece. And who could forget dear Boy? Tommy Atkins in the back line, 15 disposals. Thanks, Mum, and that's paying about $8.30.
I love Tom Atkins. 15 disposals every week, just so good for it.
He had about 16 last week.
It's almost like he just goes out there with that intent, 15 or nothing, and he just gets the 15 every week and puts the Q in the rack.
I just hope he's got like an earpiece in, and he takes a mark, gives a handball off, and the earpiece is there. Tom, that brings you up to 7. Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Fuck, we're always halfway through the third quarter already. You've got to start working. Yeah. I only had the Rowan Marshall to add to that for a goal. When Paddy Ryder's in the team, he loves jag and snag, so $1.44 for that.
Do you have anything?
No.
I love this, man. Rightio, well, let us go on Saturday night at the SCG. It's the Sydney Swans back home, and the bubble seems to have well and truly burst against a mighty Essendon Bombers team. Desmond Van Bus, tell me, what do the good residents of Zagreb have to say about this match?
Well, they like lakes, and guess what lives in the lake? Not Bombers, hopefully, because they like the Swans.
Fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Fair shout, nah. Swannies are not... Well, this is their third game in a row at the SCG. They're not going 0-3. They are not going to go 0-3. They're going to find something this week.
Do you know, just quickly, statistically, since 2018, the start of 2018, they're one of the worst teams at home in the entire AFL? They hate Sydney.
I'm actually not surprised by
They hate
this.
Sydney.
Do you know why? Because Adelaide always used to go over there in my teenage years.
And pump them.
And always win an SCG. I thought it was so weird.
In 2018 it started. They lost 6 games there, plus a final. How do you lose half of your home games in one season?
It's weird. Hey?
That's disgusting.
It is unusual. But they're very good at ANZ, or they were good at ANZ when that was an option, which is also unusual. But
it's almost like they're originally a Melbourne team. They don't like it there.
Funnily enough, I'm going to go past the stats here. They're not losing 3 in a row. They're a better team than going, a bit like the Saints, except I'm going to tip them to win this time. Swans to win.
Swans to win.
The young players will fire up. They do have big ticker and they've got big talent, and that's going to be enough to beat Essendon. Essendon are still a rabble. I know they kicked 8 goals in the last I haven't seen it. I haven't seen how good that.
It was a good last quarter to watch.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a good
I
last
can
quarter to
imagine
watch.
it would
And after watching Sydney kick 8 goals in the last quarter, I just can't imagine it being as good as what they were. I just can't. I think Sydney are just classier.
I strongly agree. And again, we talked about how Hawthorn just ran out of puff and just could not stay with them. But it was funny. Like, go watch that last quarter because it was actually funny watching like Merritt just jag a little goal and just go absolute hyper jizz mode running past the fans in the stands.
Well, I mean,
it was funny as it was good.
From what I could tell, it just looked like everything clicked all at once.
It did,
like everything just fell into place for them. That, from what I saw in the highlights package anyway, looked like the Bombers team of last year when they got on those runs and they were just borderline unstoppable. So good on them. The Swans, did you watch any of that game?
I did, yeah. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like the Swans game?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was looking at this one. I saw like a highlights
Swans
package.
and Gold Coast game. Yeah, I watched
It was one of the most piss weak efforts I've ever seen from any footy team ever. It was so bad. It really was disgusting.
On both sides, really. I don't think Gold Coast were much better.
No, they couldn't capitalise. Sydney had 20 more turnovers than Gold Coast. 20 more turnovers in a game of footy. 68-48. I watched the last quarter and the game was still in the balance. Like
It was, yeah.
Despite the fact that Sydney could not string anything together, Gold Coast just could not capitalise on it. About 5 or 6 separate Sydney players. I think Warner was one, McCartan was one, Jake Lloyd was one. They were trying to bite off these kicks to the corridor, just putting it on Toog Miller's chest every single time. I was like,
still only got 20 touches.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Mills and Miller were...
It was literally just like Groundhog Minute. Like the same thing just kept happening. Gold Coast would bomb it down the line, take a mark by Paddy McCartan, bomb it straight back into the middle of the field. It was horrible. Horrible footy to watch. I am going to tip the Swans 1-39. They are a better outfit than the Dons. The question is, they brought in 5 players late. So how many of those blokes that were underperforming do you just let walk back into a team?
It's a great question. Do you go with an unchanged lineup?
They've done nothing to deserve getting dropped, and you're going to turn around and say, get out of the team. Thanks for that. Thanks for helping us win last week, but piss off.
Well, I think Dev Smith would have a case if he said, I'd like surgery, please, if I'm honest.
Nah.
Yeah.
But if I'm right and say, no, you got to play through it, lad.
I would have thought so.
Too bad,
Yeah.
so sad. Yep.
Have a truck burger.
You're of course going to bring Ridley in. You're of course going to bring Jake Kelly in. That might be where it stops.
I guess we'll find out. I'm going Swans as well. Bloods culture does not give up 3 losses in a row. Certainly not at home. There's no way in hell. Look, not a bad win for the Bombers. Lingy was down on them. But look, backs against the wall. Season in shambles.
8 goal last quarter, you just got to respect that. You cannot disrespect
Well,
that.
another 5 out with the flu. At that point, and I can't remember who said it on radio, but I did agree. Like at that point, when you got 5 out with the flu, that's an excuse.
Yep.
You could have lost that game and been like, well, we had 5 out on the day. What were we going to do?
Sam Durham was a laid out driving to the ground. He came down sick.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I just like the idea that he's driving and...
Yeah.
Just
and the other thing, especially throughout the week, because they've been copying it left, right, and centre. Did either of you see what Nick Rewalt said throughout the week? These photos came out of them at training,
having a laugh.
Having a good time. Nick Rewalt, I hate that. Get down to business. Stop laughing. You suck. Just stop laughing. I was like, well,
you know why? Because everyone teased him for crying when he lost the Grandy.
But I was
now
like,
no one can have fun.
I was like, these guys, they're not playing good footy, but they're just out there having a good time. That you're not gonna lose any fans by smiling.
I promise you, Ross Lyon, it would have been 20 lashes with the cane if he saw you laughing at training. So that's where that's come from for Nick.
Just horrible though.
I didn't mind the win from the Bombers, but they're not getting it done here. You think the Swans are bad at home. Essendon in their history, 11 wins and 20 losses at the SCG.
Fair.
Says a little bit for me. I think the big emotion of that last quarter, I think that's all going to have drained out. And Swans, be a rough week on the track. Horse is going to get the pipe out and say, boys, this is what's coming unless you pull your socks up. Pull them up quick. So
and he is called Horse for a reason, Des.
Correct. That's why I said it. Allegedly. Let's roll on.
Pipe, you mean?
G'day, Doug. Bets?
Yep, I do have some.
Talk to me, baby.
I've got Heaney for 2 goals. Didn't score any on the weekend. First time this season.
Look at him go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to ignore him.
Yeah, no.
Didn't score any on the weekend for the first time this season.
I noticed that. He was down. Franklin was down.
He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. 2 goals, $1.56. Perkins for a goal. Archie Perkins. He loves a snag. Chad Warner for 20+ disposals. He was the Swans' best player last week.
Only had 19, did he not?
Yeah, but that was a good 19.
Yeah, fair.
Comparative to everyone else in that team. And Zachary Merritt for 30+.
Did I have Merritt? No, I didn't have Merritt. I had Parrish 30 plus. He's averaging like 32 and a half or something
is.
rude at the minute. Parrish 30 plus. Similarly to what you said, I think Mills bounces back. I think Mills gets his 25 this week. He's going.
I'm just off him because of fantasy. I
know.
Nah, I'm not having him this week.
I
But
know.
I get it.
He for fantasy he was shite. He still had 20, and he was that bad.
He was disgusting.
He was that bad and still
Piece
had
of
20.
week.
I think he leads from the front this week. So Parrish 30, Mills 25. Nick Martin, he is winning the Rising Star. I don't care who you are. 20 disposals for him.
I can't believe that dude was not on a roster in January this
It's
year.
actually weird.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Good for him now.
That is
weird
the,
how
he-
quickly it can turn
he's the poster boy for taking your opportunities. Got gifted a spot on a list and has just not looked back.
How old is he?
He's about
20? No, he's 20.
He's something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Well,
Good on him.
might have just turned 21. But
No,
unbelievable for him to be your best player comfortably so far.
So
this
yeah,
season.
leading the BNF easily. So yeah, Nick Martin 20 disposals. Thanks. I echoed what you said. Chad Warner 20 plus. Thanks very much. Tom Cutler, you'll recall I said 15 plus last week. He had something like 21.
Yep.
Back him in again. He's paying about $1.40. 15 touches.
They call him Tom Slutler down at Windy Hill, mate.
They call him Tom Cutler because he doesn't want a Cutler touches. Yes. And your man Hayden McLean anytime goal. I missed him last week.
That's
He did
your
the
man.
job. He's my man.
You said my man.
He can
I
be
don't
everyone's
reckon
man.
I put Hayden McLean in one of my things this
You
year.
said him
Right,
last year.
wrongly.
No, last week you said him.
Oh, maybe
What
I
about
did.
Hayden Clean?
We'll
I
share him.
tried to wipe the
Hayden
Swans last
McLean.
week, mate.
What about Hayden Clean?
You're a meth addict.
Can we start talking about Lockie McNeil again?
No. Let's talk about something far more interesting, which would happen to be the Adelaide Crows taking on the Brisbane Lions. Saturday night at Adelaide Oval.
It was only interesting because we're Crow supporters, because Lions are going to win 40 plus here. They're going to come out for blood. Think about what the Giants did to us at home. Oh.
Think more about that the Lions coasted to a 75-odd point win against West Coast. West Coast made that as gritty a contest as they could, considering who they had.
Are we saying 75 against Adelaide? then?
75 minutes. Like, seriously, like Lions to win by 75 plus.
It'll be 40 plus. Absolutely 40 plus.
Yeah.
Like the Crows have had...
Hopefully Rochelle kicks a goal, though.
The Crows have just put two absolute stinkers back to back. There was times on the weekend that I was sitting there watching, and I really have liked Jordan Dawson's season so far.
Yep.
And I thought he was good on the weekend, but there were so many times during the game that instead of taking the ball long, trying to move the ball quickly, whoever was in the back lines with him, Luke Brown, Chase Jones, Frampton, all they were doing was looking to give the ball to him at every given opportunity.
Yeah.
And all that did, slow the play down. Carlton got everyone behind the ball, and all Jordan Dawson was doing was bombing it long up the wing.
Classic.
Anyone can do that. Literally anyone on the team can do that. Move the ball quickly. You don't need to give Jordan Dawson 30 touches every week if he's just going to turn it over like you are.
I would have thought so, yeah. It was
genuinely frustrating to watch. You know, you could see them every single time. Say there was, whoever was down on the wing coming up at him, Rochelle, Walker, whatever. Now I'll chip it back into Jordan Dawson, and he can bomb it long and turn it over instead of me.
Because
Dawson.
I won't cop it.
Unbelievable.
Look, there's not a ton to say here.
No.
The Crows have look. They're a young team doing young team things, and this is the journey. You're going to have the highs. You're going to have the lows. They're in a low point right now.
Mm-hmm.
No forward pressure. Not connecting with forward of centre. Young key backs got absolutely taught a lesson by Kerno and McKay.
And we knew they would.
It's always going to happen. I mean, they're in a trough. It's an easy kill for Brisbane. If you're a Brisbane fan, enjoy that. Come down. If you're from Brisbane and you're itching to,
we'll have a couple of beers with you.
Yeah, but come down. If you're from Brisbane and you want to wear some dry clothes for longer than 24 hours, then come to Adelaide, right? Des will take you to Red Square, right? I'll pre-order a cab or an ambulance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fine.
Absolutely.
You watch your boys win by 100 points, you'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? Hit us up, and if you can scull a beer faster than Richie, we'll pay for your night.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way.
That's actually a good deal.
It's good.
That's the deal. Anyone in Brisbane, if we've got any Brisbane followers coming down, if you can scull a beer faster than Rich, you can pick the beer. Richie will drink West End.
And I'll pick the rich. That's it. Yep. We all said Brisbane 40 plus.
Yep. Let's get on the bets.
Thanks, Mum. What do you got, bros?
There was very little value in this game. I don't know if either of you two have noticed.
I actually put something tasty together.
But there's never much value in Brisbane games this year because it's the same blokes getting 25, 30 disposals every week.
It's reliable.
Yeah,
Lockie Neal.
it is reliable.
Lockie Neal.
But there's not much money in it anymore. It's quite frustrating. I do have McAdam for a goal. I think we're bound to score one.
Maybe.
There's a chance.
Maybe.
Well, West Coast got a couple, so we could do that.
But they had Florenka
They did.
We don't.
No, that is true. Yeah, scratch that. McAdam out. Gone.
You don't even know who Florenka is.
I've got Lockie. This is where I got the value from. I got Lockie Neal for a goal. He's kicked 1 in 3 of his last 5. $1.93 at the moment. I think that the score could rack up, and I could see him.
Remember when he
kicked
kicked 6 points against Adelaide?
I do actually.
What was the final score?
I had him for a goal that day.
What was the final score in that game? It was like 15 goals, 28 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Lions for 20 plus. That's $1.29, which is actually pretty good value at the moment. And Rory Laird for 30 plus, $1.37.
Yeah, not bad. I had, I actually did. I know what you mean. It is getting tougher and tougher to scrape value out of these, but I put something together I'm actually really kind of happy with.
Let's go.
Brisbane Lion, try bet.
Yep.
To win more than 15.5 points.
Yep. It's paying about $1.03.
No, you'd be surprised. I think the Brisbane win was like $1.24 or something like that.
That's just disrespect.
It's just horrendous. The try bet was something like $1.38, something stupid, and I thought, fine, I had that. Lockie Neal 30 plus, fine. Ben Keys 25, not gone under that all year. Good. Charles Cameron, 2 goals, please. Taylor Walker, still averaging 3 goals, 3.2, something like that.
Yep.
2 goals for him.
Yep.
Noah Answorth, 15 touches, and he's not gone. He's gone under that once, I think, once from memory.
I like this.
Tom Duday, 15 plus,
Nice.
and he's not gone under that this year either. $11.67.
I like it.
I worked long and hard on that.
I'm on board.
Speaking of long and hard, it's time for Dez's Scramble. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I got one word for you. Arse. Association. We're going to do some word association today, boys.
These are the worst.
They are.
Like he does
this on purpose.
They're often bad.
Yes.
These are always a low point.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, so you have to name a player, past, present, future, coach, player, whatever you would like. I mean, even a media member. Okay, media member. Anything to do with footy.
Sure.
All right. We're going to start off nice and easy. All right. Dan, Eiffel Tower.
Are you sure that's nice and easy?
Define easy here. Define
Eiffel
nice.
Tower, I mean. Eiffel Tower.
I was just say Mason Cox because he's tall. Let's move on.
That's not bad.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Cancelled. All right, Richie. Friends.
Friends. Tom Morris.
All right, Dan.
I don't know why it's funny, but it is. Yeah. No.
Yeah, well, it's always funny when it's Tom Morris.
Egg yolk.
Egg yolk.
That's a good one.
That is interesting, actually.
So I've got like 9. Why didn't I get egg yolk?
No, you go.
No, you go.
No, you go. I'll take the next one.
All right. Mitch Robinson.
Because...
Okay.
Redhead. This is I don't know, like it's supposed to be the most tenuous, just random, obscure nonsense you've ever heard.
That's fair.
Herman Munster.
Oh my god.
I had a win
why
here.
did I take this one?
I had a real win here.
Herman Munster.
The pain on his face makes it. Just wait.
Dewey.
I was actually going to say Chris Dorr because they look
Yeah.
identical.
I'd say Jason Dunstall at the moment.
That's not bad either, actually. Yeah.
All right, Richie. Horse deep heat.
John Longmire. Had to be.
Because of the big horse cock.
Allegedly, steady on. He means the bird.
I mean love.
We're not getting
All
cancelled.
right, pomegranate.
Don't look at me.
Pomegranate.
It reminds you of a pomegranate. No more pomegranates. No.
This is the worst one ever.
It's awful.
Just wait, there's 4 more to go.
Oh, come on.
Matt Rao.
That'll do.
He's a big sweetie.
All right, Richie, toaster.
I know where you got that one from as well. Yeah, it's Bank Street Social, isn't it? Yeah. Loader and toaster. Toaster. Dane Swan. Did you ever hear that story?
I haven't.
Oh, he was on the Footy Show back in like 2012, and they were asking him about like inventions and things. Like, Dane, if you weren't playing football, what would you be doing? Would you see yourself in business? What would you be doing with yourself? Making something, perhaps? He said, I actually had an idea, for a see-through toaster, like a toaster that's just clear, and you put your bread in, and you just like put it down, and it cooks, and then you can see when it's cooked enough, and then when you're happy with it, you just ping it up.
It's actually a great idea.
Oh, I checked, and it's been already done. Oh, yeah, that was dead set what he said, and I was like, wow, this is amazing television. Yeah, so Dane's one.
2 to go. Ashley and Martins.
Brett Montgomery had one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
Wow.
Okay.
No?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, Nathan Eagle Eaton. All right.
Eagle Eaton.
Is that what it is?
No, it's Eagle Eaton.
Yeah.
It comes from a long line of... comes from the Windsor Eagle Eatons, I believe.
How do you
Yes.
say it?
He did have a good comeback
How do you
too.
say it?
Yeah, like that.
Eagle Eaton.
Yeah, let's continue onward. Go for it.
All right, Lance Whitnell. All right, final
Lance
one.
Whitnell.
Divorce.
Divorce. Oh, he's set me up with an absolute roast.
I think I had the win in the end.
Sorry about the mic there. Sorry if you're just listening to that.
Divorce.
There's a couple you could go here. A few avenues
Who's
to
the
go
first
down.
one that comes to your head?
No, but I
And
can't.
I can tell if you're lying.
No, but I can't say names like Brian Lake and stuff because I want to, but I can't. So I'm not. I'm not doing that. You don't know who that is.
And he hasn't got it either.
No, he's not. I'm not going back.
Go back. I'm Googling.
I'm not going back.
Billy
Divorce.
Gramlos.
No, I'm not saying these names because they're just lowbrow. They're just lowbrow.
Wayne Carey.
They're just lowbrow brows. I tell you, who had a great pair of eyebrows. Gary Lyon.
Yes, he did.
Unreal set of brows.
Sick.
If you said the word eyebrows, that's exactly who I'm going with, Gary Lyon.
If I say the word. Beep.
And if I start talking about the Gold Coast Suns and the Fremantle Dockers on Sunday afternoon at Metricon Stadium, you know that you're going to be in for probably a Fremantle win. But Dan, I want you to give me a bit of background on this one first, please.
Well, to be honest, before I tip the Dockers,
he's ruined it now.
I would just like to say, I'm actually genuinely thrilled for the Suns. That was a good win. That really was a good win for them. They've been playing some half decent footy this year. They definitely look to have improved. They're not a good footy team still, but they're playing some reasonable football. I'm really enjoying the way Levi Casbolt's going about it. He's been genuinely phenomenal.
Renaissance
for them.
Actual.
Isaac Rankin was good. That was probably his best game this year, which is a low bar to leap over, but
still got to set it.
He has to set it. But the Dockers are absolutely going to trounce them in this game. They're playing some inspired football at the moment. There wasn't really much you could take away from destroying North Melbourne, but Jai Miss, great debut. Deadeye Jai.
Don't get better than that.
Jai don't miss.
Deadeye Jai, they call him out west. Sean Darcy had his best game for the year, comfortably. So I'm looking forward to him playing one quarter in this one and then hitting the bench for yet another injury.
Why not?
And Caleb Strong and Will Brodie were just absolutely monstrous. Will Brodie, 37 disposals.
I was going to say, you didn't have 37? That wasn't a typo.
No.
And
guess what? And guess what this week, Des? It's a revenge game.
It is a revenge game.
Will Brodie disrespected by Suns for 5 years. It's about to come back in Spain.
He's paid his due, and now he's back.
He's about to make orphans out of all of the Suns' children.
Orphans.
Yeah.
Well, I can't disagree with that. I know Freo have been they've been bullying some dud teams recently, not including the Geelong win. I realise how stupid that sounds because that was only 2 weeks ago. Freo.
Geelong's a dud team. They picked on them.
In Geelong, they are.
Gold Coast got the win, which I'm happy for because you don't like seeing Gold Coast at the bottom all of the time. You want to see them floating around the 8. They're not going to because Freo are going to beat them at home pretty comfortably, I reckon. I can't add much more to what Dan said. Like, it's just Freo are going to get up here. They've been travelling well. They've been travelling much better than expected this year.
They played the D's in 2 weeks, and I'm really looking forward.
You got to pencil that in.
I'm really looking forward to
So
that.
is it as in 2 weeks? Or have they got next week?
This week,
Let me have a look.
next week, following week.
Beautiful.
There you go.
So they just got to get the W, and then they're going to
In between, and spoiler alert, next week after playing West Coast this week, Demons have North Melbourne next week.
Jeez.
What a charmed run that is.
That's bad.
I mean, kissed on the bell end, it doesn't come into it.
It's at the MCG too. That's a cracker.
Mate, have to get tickets.
Grand final.
Look, what was interesting to me is that those key outs that Freo had did not matter at all. Did not matter at all. It's that classic one bloke goes down, one bloke comes
Classic
up
Richmond
mentality.
mantra.
It is the
Next
Richmond
man up.
mantra. And there's blokes flying under the radar that no one else seems to care about, but are just doing it just excellently. Alex Pearce, if you don't mind. Hayden Young's having his best season.
Yes. Sam Switkowski. Great year so far.
Sarong,
Big ticker too. Big
Sarong-
ticker, Switkowski.
he workhorse. Sarong out, had a quiet start, out, came back in.
Heath Chapman playing great down back. Luke Ryan. They've got a really, really good setup. I'm super, super impressed with Freo so far this
I
year.
honestly think still flying under the radar a bit.
Absolutely.
I genuinely, I didn't mind the Suns. Didn't mind the Suns. I listened to it on the radio. I heard half that game on the radio. From what I heard, yeah, good on them. Child, Casbolt, Rankin, all combined well, as they bloody should be. Good for them.
Absolutely.
It's a ramshackle makeshift forward line, and it worked. Well done. Well done. Where's that consistency? And that's been the Gold Coast problem since day one.
Correct.
Where's the consistency at? If they're going to get anywhere near the Dockers here, that midfield is going to have to be consistent and strong at the ball, dawn till dusk. And that's what they've tried to be, priding themselves on under Dewey. Fair enough. You just
easier said than done against this midfield.
Fremantle's writing the textbook on it at the minute. Also doesn't help that the Gold Coast are currently 36 wins, 71 losses at Metricon Stadium. That's yuck, isn't it?
You know that's their home ground, right?
I went into Metricum.
Yeah, he went there. It's all the Blues.
And he's told us about it every day ever
Old
since.
Metricum. That's what I call it.
Dockers won a 39.
Yeah, I've got one to 39 as well.
Yeah, Dockers 40 plus.
Oh, Dockers 40 plus. Read that. All right, let's look at some bets. Brandon Ellis had a lovely game on the weekend.
He did.
And he's putting together a bit of a season for the Suns. So why don't you just be bold and put him down for 20 disposals, if you don't mind. Will Brodie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, put out the lips.
Did you miss me?
Will Brodie, 25 disposals, coming down from 37, shouldn't be too hard.
That's $1.53 at the moment as well.
That is disrespectful.
And he will, he's a very nice bloke, Will Brodie. He feel disrespected. He will feel disrespected and want to show up this rabble of a team.
Listen, as Moses once said, you do not cross a man with two first names. David Mundy, 20 disposals, had about 21, and he'll just casually walk to 20, and that's fine. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
James Aish had 30. Do you reckon he can get 15?
Yes.
So do I, and that's why I put him down. And Ben Ainsworth at the Gold Coast Suns.
Anus.
Yes, big brainy Ainsworth.
Human anus.
The human anus as well. Yeah.
Beaver.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Zombeaver Ainsworth, he's not gone under 15 all year.
And he actually loves a snag as well. So you probably could throw that in there because Gold Coast are bound to score one.
It's just stupider bets.
And
But
Beaver will get it.
so Ainsworth, 15 disposals for mine. Thanks very much.
I had Jordan Clark for 20 plus. That's the only thing I had to add there. He's done it in 4 of his last 5. Why not again?
Why not again? Why not again? Let us look forward now to Sunday afternoon in which the GWS Giants are back home at Giants Stadium and they'll be taking on the Carlton Blues, plus their travelling band of umpires. Desi, what have you got, mate? What are you looking at here?
I'm not high on Giants, and I feel like that's pretty clear. They were horrendous. They obviously whooped Adelaide. That must be more of a tell on how good Adelaide are and not how good Giants are because they showed nothing against the Cats, unfortunately, because we all tipped them as well.
Yep.
So that's a lost tip.
Stupid.
We'll never get back.
Yeah, they absolutely ruined me.
And I'm not going to trust them this week. I think Giant Stadium is that? How much of a fortress is that? Not at all.
Well, Carlton, 5 losses from 5 starts at Giant Stadium. There you go.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. It was
How bad? I mean, what I would say to that is how shit have Carlton been when they've been playing there?
The worst.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a really good. I think this is going to be a win here. It's going to be really important for Carlton's season. They're going to beat Giants Giants have played one good game against Adelaide, and they're going to. The Carlton fans and the media are going to chew on that after this win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're going to beat an average team because they're not a bad team, but they're going to beat an average team away. And then all the Carlton fans are going to be calling flags again.
There'll be that many frothing dicks on
Top
Lygon
4, are they
Street.
top 4 now?
I
reckon. And if
Top
they
8.
won't be, they're 4th now. They are not going to want to lose, and they're 4th by a game. Like they're not even just. It's not like a good percentage thing. They're not going to want to lose to the Giants and lose that 4th spot. It's real important to them.
5 starts, 5 losses. Law of averages says that's changing, and I reckon it changes this week. Dan, I'm asking you now, who takes McKay?
Doesn't matter.
Well, whoever takes him.
I mean, Sam Taylor's taking him, but
so then who takes Curnow? And that's the problem, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
You would think Nick Haynes does a bit of a job, but they're not gonna stop these two.
Well, they didn't have an answer.
They're absolute behemoths, and it's not even just the defense. It's the same problems every week with the Giants. Leon Cameron has this fixation with playing players out of position. Oh, Lockie Whitfield played well one week in forward line. Why don't we just play him at halfback this week? Or why don't we put Stephen Canelio in the forward line and put Lockie Ash in the centre bouncers? Lockie Ash sucks.
You've got to get your mix right by now. You should know your mix by now.
It's the same problems week in and week out. And there's only there's 2 ways the Giants can fix that. First of all, play all the players in the right positions. It actually does work, believe it or not. Secondly, fire Leon Cameron. And I'll say that every week until it happens.
You're just biased. You're just biased.
He sucks. There is too much talent in this team. teams would kill to have the level of talent that the Giants have got, and Leon Cameron cannot figure it out.
Well, look, it sort of suggests to me that if, let's assume that they're training like Leon wants them to during the week, all right? And we certainly don't hear any negative reports saying that they're shit on the training track, right?
No.
Then they're not putting it together on game day, which tells me it's a coaching problem. Because we know it's not a talent problem. And we've seen that the game style can work, but if they're not putting together what they're doing on the training track on a Saturday, it's a coaching problem.
It is.
It is a coaching problem. It's a shame. If they didn't have an answer for Jeremy Cameron on the weekend, I just don't see how they're going to have an answer for both McKay and Curnow.
That's the thing. You can have an answer for one, but you can't have an answer for both.
It's not going to happen. And I think it's clear that their season's over now, Giants. They're going to sink now. Mentally, they're just going to be switched off. Carlton's going to run around, do what they want to do. The fans are going to have an absolute... Mexican wave will be out. The beach balls... Yeah, mate, I tell you.
Right now, are we buying into the Cripps Brownlow hype?
Yes, because the AFL will flog that narrative.
But he deserves it at the moment.
I agree.
I think he's a clear favourite at the moment.
I agree, but I feel like it's going to be...
Track's been good, fallen off a little bit.
Yeah, but it's going to be like a feedback loop. Like the AFL are just going to continually tell everyone how good he is.
You don't have to tell him. Like, they don't have to tell anyone. Did you watch him on the weekend?
Yeah.
Have you watched him every week so far? He's borderline unplayable.
That one week where I got him in my fantasy team and he did a hamstring was good. Outside of that, I agree.
He is borderline unplayable. And friend of the show, Jackson Haley, was tagging him on the weekend. Thought he did an admirable job as best as he could, but you just can't stop him at the moment. He's too big, too strong, too fast. He's got the full package, and he's added goal kicking to his bow.
Which is good to see, because in previous seasons he's looked like broken. It looked like it was not over.
He was doing everything.
He was carrying 22 blokes on his back every single week. Now he's got a supporting cast, and you can try and stop Patrick Cripps, but then Sam Walsh, Hewitt, Chera, Matt Kennedy, they're all just going to kill you.
Lining up.
You can't stop them. I love it.
Go Carlton.
It's Carlton this week. Carlton for mine. The way they played against the Crows, just that was easy. Coast to coast, filling up spaces. They just knew where they were going to go before they went. Oh, it was just glorious football to watch.
Yes.
Glorious football. Sorry, Giants, not your season. See you later.
Leon Cameron.
See you later. Right, let's have a look at some bets. I've got, I didn't really try with this one, to be honest with you. Josh Kelly, 25 disposals, thanks. Lockie Whitfield, 20. I've never said that before. Gone are the days.
He's been struggling to get there.
That was 2020. That was my luck of the week every single week.
Gone are the days.
Your luck of the week was 25 plus disposals, if you remember. And he's limping to 20.
And I was paying $1.40.
And he came into this season. This is the fittest I've ever felt. I've never done a full pre-season before.
Oh, well, maybe
maybe there's something in injuries.
Been drinking that Jake Stringer water. That's what it is. So Kelly, 25. Lockie Whitfield, 20. Adam Chera, 25.
Yep.
Callan Ward, 20 disposals. Love Cal Ward.
Every game so far this year.
I love Cal Ward. He's been disrespected by that club at the minute. And Zach Fisher and Lockie O'Brien, 15 touches apiece. They've been very, very reliable. Really floating under the radar because there's too many bright lights at Carlton, but those blokes are getting it done week in, week out. So grab those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7.15. Thanks, Mum and Dad.
I don't really have anything to add to that. I mean, but I had a Bobby Hill goal.
Or Bob.
Yeah, just for something.
Well, he's got to push his trade value up.
Just for something GWS related. That's $1.45 at the moment. He's done that in 3 of his last 5. So
love that.
Go on.
Love that. Right. You got anything for me?
I've got a haiku coming up, but that's not for this game.
Oh, lovely. Well, in that case, it might just be for the last game of the round. It is.
I'm going to stop you right there. This is not a game. It's not a game.
Okay, so I'll rephrase this. So Sunday afternoon at Optus Stadium sees the Melbourne Amber Herds playing on the West Coast Amber Herd bed sheets. There you go. Anyone like that one? Yeah?
I actually love that.
Yeah?
I love that so much. That is very good from you. I didn't think we could go much lower than bin juice, and we've just found it out.
Yes, we did.
We've just found it out.
Bed sheet.
Yes, we did. I wrote that earlier. I was there like. Because I was writing it.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
All right.
Haiku time.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing this every week now.
Yep.
Right, it's haiku time with Desmond Van Bus.
All right.
You need to do this every week
You
now.
need some like wind chimes playing in the background.
I'll sort that.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the
Melbourne.
boys.
Melbourne. Premiership favourites.
Was that 1 line or 3? I don't know. Go again.
Start
again.
over. No, start over.
No, start again. It's a haiku.
Start over. Start over. Start over. Start over.
However I want it.
No, because
you're being a racist.
No, you're being a racist. You're a mental case. Because you said Melbourne, and then you were like, Melbourne. Melbourne. And I don't know if just the needle was skipping in your brain or if that was actually the line. I don't know.
We actually thought you were stuck on a loop.
Yeah.
Melbourne.
You might be wondering how I got here. In his
Melbourne.
head.
Melbourne. Premiership favourites. West Coast. Dog shit. Oh, how I've never seen a team so bad. Melbourne. Unleash the demon. There we go. And they will unleash the demon. Melbourne by however much they want.
Whoever invented the haiku turning in their grave right now. You've just took a massive Amber Heard all over the haiku.
Well, that wasn't a haiku. That's like rocking up to woodshop class, being asked to make a chair, and you've turned up with a jar of jam, and you're trying to pass it off.
Yeah.
That's not what we asked for.
I'm so sorry.
Two by four with a nail in it.
Yeah.
Sit on that.
I mean, I've got 2 lines written on this.
Go for it.
I genuinely think West Coast will respond a bit like after that whole, the nightclub furore. I think they'll be pushing standards all week on the track, and there'll be a lot of internal talk that's going to result in them rocking up and getting beat to shit.
I actually think the saddest part of this whole week is that Adam Simpson has effectively lost his job already.
No.
Trevor Nisbet came out and said, he's safe. We want him to lead the rebuild. That is the biggest kiss of death a CEO can ever give a coach. As soon as he says his job's safe, you better start looking for a job, bud, because it is not long until you're in the unemployment line.
Away.
Melbourne.
Unleash the demon.
Melbourne look great. If you're a fan, you don't need me to tell you that. They look great.
Hell no.
They just destroyed the Saints' second tier mid.
One of the best teams I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
Of all time.
But not just their key mids. It's their blokes like Sparrow, like Jordan,
Neil Bullen.
just like playing above and beyond their talent at the minute.
Yep.
You can't compete with that.
No.
You can't even get Yo and Shuey on the park.
No.
You got Jake Bowie.
And even if they are on the park, sometimes they're more detrimental than they are positive to the team.
Do you know what? I will add, and this really, really hurt me because do know that I am a big Cos Pickett fan. They're talking about how he's got the potential to be box office if he isn't box office already. But they're like, do you know where it would be much more box office? And it was real weird. Like that is a quote. Much more box office. They're like in Adelaide. And I was like, oh, that hurt because he's from Adelaide. I didn't know.
But why would he be more box office here? What's more box office than being a good player on the best team in the league?
In Melbourne.
My point is...
Who said this?
I can't remember. I think it was Rewalt. It was after the game. It was post-game. I'm telling you, because I don't make this up. I didn't know he was from Adelaide until they said he would be more box office in Adelaide.
A late bolter for dummy of the week there.
Well, I'm telling you.
Doesn't even make any sense.
No.
The box office point irrelevant. I did not know he was from Adelaide, and that hurts me. And that is more interesting to me than this game.
Fair.
Melbourne.
Cos Pickett, come back to Adelaide.
I'll do anything. I was looking for some bets here. I was actually swiping through my screenshots of my bets. I've actually just come across one of it's a Tinder screenshot of a lady here posing for a photo outside the Snowtown Bank, and I think that's pretty representative of this game. I think, just in case you didn't believe me. No.
It's good.
Yeah.
You have shown me that before.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. Eagles are in a barrel right now.
No.
They are.
Bank on it.
No, they are.
Sure.
I've got D's at the line this week as my favourite bet for the week, just about 60.5.
Oh, easy.
That's easy money. Right?
Double your money.
$1.90. I've got Fritsch for 3 goal, $1.86. I've got Greg Clark coming back in off COVID for 15 disposals.
What's that paying?
$1.23.
That's
nice.
That's frothy.
That's nice. Track for 25 plus $1.24 and Clary for 30 plus $1.29.
I've finished the week on an absolute thumper. Those are lovely, by the way.
That's fine. Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
Good work from you. I've got an absolute thumper for the boys here. You tell me what goes down. Alex Witherden, 20 plus. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ed Langdon, 25. Mm-hmm. Clayton Oliver, 30. Mm-hmm. Christian Petracca, 30. Mm-hmm. Tom Sparrow for 15. Cos Pickett, 2 goals.
Nice.
What part of that do you hate?
That West Coast is playing.
You'll be able to put that aside when I tell you that is $16 odds before you boost.
Love it.
That makes a bin juice of a game.
Slightly less
sugarcane juice.
Sugarcane juice, which is lovely. You've been lovely. Thanks to the fans for getting around us. We love it. We appreciate the comments. Please keep commenting on the YouTube shows. Like and subscribe, please. Hit that little button down the side there. If you're on the potty, love your work as well. Don't think we've forgotten about you because we absolutely froth you. Gamble responsibly. Yeah. Check the socials.
Absolutely.
Armchair Advisors.
Yep.
Boys, that's the end of that one. We'll see you for around, 10 next week?
Something like that.
Frothage. Absolute frothage. Have a lovely evening.